What's up, phony homies? We're back and we're ready for action because guess what? We're going to be covering running backs and wide receivers on this show to get you prepared for your fantasy draft. Yes, football is back, baby. Are you ready? Let's go. Just kidding. I'm joking. Anyways, we actually lost technical difficulty. We lost our opener. So, anyways, let's just get it going. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fake Football Guys. My name is Dustin D.L. Lingeman, and alongside of me is my co-host, who's probably shitting a brick right now because he's like, "What in the world happened?"
Nah, man, it's show business, baby. This is what
I don't know
happens.
what happened. We're
Don't
just
you
we're
worry.
just
We
going.
fly. We fly. Don't worry.
I'm a little upset because I'm literally looking for our like opener and it's not in the video clips. So don't know what happened there, but I will fix
Well,
that for next episode.
it's not gone forever though, right?
No, it's not gone
All right,
forever. I
bet.
just got to
Don't worry
upload
about it.
it.
Fuck it.
I think it just got like a revamp or what have you. But anyways, no worries. Yeah, let's just get it kind of going here. As a reminder, you can follow our show on Twitter at
Tweet FFG.
absolutely. Be sure to ask those questions using the hashtag
Ask us FFG.
absolutely. And if you don't really want to go live, you don't want to ask questions, for everyone to see, and you kind of get a little embarrassed, even though there's no stupid questions, you can always email us at
Ask us FFG at gmail.com.
absolutely, absolutely. And if you just are super lazy, don't feel like typing anything, and you just want to hit us up on the phone, call JC directly at
708 655 4508.
yes, 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 that's correct. And anytime, 24 hours. I say this all the time. Speaking of which, did you get any like crazy calls yet?
Yeah, man, I get spam emails every day, spam phone calls every day. This isn't helping me.
Well,
Not helping.
speaking of emails, you can always ask your questions at what oh, wait, we covered that. My bad.
Yep.
Anyways, be sure to like, subscribe, and
Smash.
that notification button on all of our stuff. We're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and wherever you consume your podcast. So if you can't
That's
watch
right,
us live,
baby.
you can listen to us while you should be working. Anywho, guys, we got a jam-packed show today. We're going to be going over running back rankings. So before we kind of dive into that, I did have a quick question to JC, man. What's your strategy when it comes to RBs? Are you a hero RB? Are you a RB guy? Or are you just like zero RB and you're gonna have those big cojones, those
Birdman
huevos?
hands, baby. Birdman hands. Man, it depends honestly where I'm at, where I'm draft slotted.
Mm.
In the first round, it depends what league I'm in. Depends who I'm drafting with. There's a lot of different factors for me. I think if I draft early, I think I take wide receiver in the first first four picks. If I'm drafting in the middle of the first round or late first round, I'm hoping to get Christian McCaffrey. I'm hoping to get Brees Hall. I'm hoping to get Bijan Robinson, and start that way. I fully believe in them. I think there is a running back hot zone later on in the draft. We'll go
Mm.
over that a little bit
That's
later.
good to know.
Um,
In a dead zone,
yeah,
right?
there is a dead zone too, but I think there's a bunch of guys between rounds 4 and 6 that you can get that I think are definitely startable as long as you draft the right way at wide receiver, at quarterback. You fill up those positions. I think you could definitely get 2 top 25 running backs, and I'll be happy with those guys. Could some of these guys in the top 25, depending on who they are, could jump up into the top 12 maybe. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. What about you, DL?
Yeah, I like that strategy a lot. I always try to taper. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna just
Yeah.
like, and then I get nervous and I draft a RB. But here's statistically, did you know that actually I would say the top 10 RBs throughout the years, I would say like a 5-year like analogy or like
Mhm.
data consumption, they actually don't make it through the season. In fact,
Yeah,
most
man.
teams
Yeah.
actually lose their Super Bowls because of the fact that they went heavy with RB because they're like, oh my God, I need that RB every week. And I get it because with RB, you're guaranteed like you're going to see that ground game. You're going to see your points go up through that game right away, right? With wide receivers, you got to be more patient because you never know. Like they're going to break eventually, but you don't know what quarter. With running backs, you know that like from the first snap, they're going to get you like, a point or maybe like half a point. So you feel a little bit more comfortable. And I think that's where a lot of people get like a little bit anxious because they want to see their score like shoot up right away. So with that statistic, that really opened my eyes to like, well, wait a second, like maybe I shouldn't be like going after RBRB and then like because the debate is this, right? Sorry, I'm kind of like
No,
jumping
don't worry, you're
a
good.
little bit. But the debate is this, right? Because RB is such a small talent pool, right? There's only like a good, I don't know, like 20 running backs, or maybe even more after we go through our rankings that are going to help you. However, wide receivers deep, right? So a lot of people get in their mind like, all right, I don't have to worry about wide receiver. I'm going to wait until like the later rounds to grab my guy. But this the bad part about that is that you're going to get like mediocre wide receivers, right?
Hmm.
And statistically, running backs get injured a lot more because they're taking more damage. They're taking more hits, they're pulling calves, they're pulling Achilles, they got foot fatigitis. Sorry, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor, dude.
Meningitis, baby.
Meningitis. Yes, they do have foot meningitis. Anyway, long story longer. Wide receivers a little bit of a better bet, I would say, as I've gone through my like fantasy football career. I would say like getting like really good or stacking your wide receivers early, I think is key because they're not going to get as injured as a running back would be. And a lot of times, if depending on the draft pick or where you picked them, you may have actually like cost your whole team the season just because you were hoping that, for example, Christian McCaffrey. Remember the Carolina days? Remember those days? You drafted him first. You're like, oh yeah, he plays one game and then he's out for like 4 to 6 weeks, and now you're scrambling. You're like, "Oh my god," because you don't have anybody to help you. So, point being, phony homies, is making sure that you're not just drafting that position, but drafting a team. And I think sometimes you get lost in that because you're just like looking for names. You're like, "Oh, I'll stack him, I'll stack him." But what's your end goal, right? Who do you have at each position, and what does your team overall look like? Sorry.
Agreed.
Tangent over.
No, 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 no. Totally agree. DL, I
Yes.
am very interested in what is happening today, but I have a draft going on right now, a dynasty league
Oh,
draft
you're drafting now,
as
live?
we speak in
Can you share
Sleeper.
your screen?
Yes. No, I can't on my phone, unfortunately, but I have a
Oh,
question for you.
crap. Sure.
Um,
Hit me
one
with it.
second. Okay.
I can't believe we lost the
So
clip. I was so mad about that.
it's okay. Don't
Anyways,
worry about it. So here's my
what's
question
up?
to you. I'm in a dynasty league and I'm up, and it doesn't. I mean, whatever. My phone screen doesn't really matter to you. You can't really make out anything. But
Nope.
I'm
Can't
in a
do it.
draft with Matt Miller of ESPN, and
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Let's go, baby.
and I'm up, and it's a dynasty league, so it's the beginning first year league. I'll be real quick here. I took Amon Ra with the 12th pick, and on the comeback, I took Anthony Richardson. So Amon Ra, 12th, 13th
Like
pick,
that.
Anthony Richardson. Remember, it's a dynasty league, so it's like forever. Now I don't know where to go.
Yeah, because you
Um,
gotta think youth versus like
exactly,
yep, yep.
exactly. So I could go a bunch of different ways. I don't really want to go tight end, even though the best one in the game right now, Sam Laporta, is available. Nothing against Sam, but I don't know if I should go there. He's available. He's top 20 guy probably in all of fantasy. Jonathan Taylor's there. Malik Neighbors, rookie, is there. Jaden Daniels. And yeah, really it. And that's really it. Everybody else is kind of
So
older.
to recap, you got right now you got a quarterback and you got a wide receiver,
Yep,
right?
Amon Ron, Anthony Richardson. I could go Laporta, Jonathan Taylor, Malik Neighbors, or Jaden Daniels. Not sure where to go there.
I would go Malik Neighbors.
You
It's a
know,
stretch. It's a stretch, and it's
You know what?
pretty
My buddy
early, so
said
I
the
don't know.
same thing. My buddy said the same thing. I think I'm
It's
gonna
a
go that way.
stretch though, but I'm thinking dynasty, so dynasty is a little bit different. I think that guy's gonna be a beast. However, I think you get him a little bit deeper.
I love
Um,
no, no, no. I love that though. I think
so
you're
Jo
right.
I don't
I think
know
that's
because
the way to
Jonathan
go.
Taylor, like, how old is he? See, here's the
He's
thing too,
getting up
phony
there.
homies, is that, like, you gotta look at the
25.
age. 25 is good. 25. When they get, like, a little bit closer to that 30 mark, then you gotta, Um, but I don't know, Jonathan Taylor actually didn't have,
I was thinking
like,
Jaden
ye
Daniels. I was like, do I take Jaden Daniels
but
here
you already
or
got Richardson.
I do, but I'm sorry. I should have given you this caveat. It is a two quarterback league. It's a super flex. So you
Oh,
start a quarterback and then
okay,
you
that's
start a
different.
second flex. A flex. One of the flexes is wide receiver, tight end, and running back, and the second flex is quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, running back. So you got to get a second
Mm,
quarterback. I could take
you
Jaden
do.
here, or I think
But
Malik
who
Neighbors.
no, I mean, what about, is Kyler Murray like, who's on the board? Can you get Kyler Murray? Can you
No, he's
get
gone. Yeah, he's
okay.
gone. Yeah, I know.
Jaden's not bad, though. He's a rook too, man. Like, it is what it is. It's, it's a dynasty, right? Or keeper league?
Dynasty, it's forever.
Forever. So, yeah, maybe you wanna go rook. I would go rook.
Maybe I will. Well, thank you. I do appreciate the help. Yeah, we got a huge show though. Let's go
Yes.
ahead and
Sorry.
get it going.
Okay, absolutely. So, once again, phony homies, we're going to be covering running backs right now. So we're going to go ahead and dive into that. So we're going to start off with JC. JC put together his rankings. I did have a question to you, JC. Like,
Of
how do you
course.
start your rankings? Are
Uh,
you like actually like doing a deep dive? Are you having a base point, or like you going off like ESPN or any of those other sites?
it's a great question. I use a combination of a bunch of different experts. I can't even lie. Obviously, I know the player pool. We've been doing this for a while, but I use a combination of different experts. I use Fantasy Pros, I use CBS, I use ESPN, I use The Athletic. I use a bunch of different resources just to look at kind of where their ideas are of guys. These are guys who've been in the business longer than me, so I kind of have an idea of what's too far one way, what's too far one the other way, and then I input my personal opinion. So DL, with that being said, I do want to go ahead and get this kicked off. DL, you and I went out of the way to do a really giant ranking for running backs. We'll get started. Um, on the left-hand side is who I ranked, and then the little numbers in the parentheses are where you have them ranked. So we'll get started. Obviously, I think the first five, nothing too crazy. We have C-Mac going one, Brees Hall at two, Bijan at three. Not much to say there. Any of those guys could end up being player number one fantasy guy overall, number one running back overall. Then there's a little bit of a discrepancy between you and I on Saquon, but that's okay. I have him at four, you have him at five. Nothing too much to scoff at, honestly.
Yeah.
I got Taylor at five, you got him at six. I got Jameer at six, you have him at four. Um, you know, again, they're really pretty similar. I got Etienne at seven, so do you. I got Kyron at eight, so do you. I got Pacheco at nine, so do you. So people could see how kind of we have these ranks. One of the first ones I do want to talk about is Josh Jacobs. Being that we're Bears fans, as you can see, we got our Caleb representation going. DL, where are you on Jacobs? I do know when we were doing our show prep, you felt like you were maybe a little low, but I think you're right on the right. You're on the money. I don't think we're too far away. But what are you thinking about Jacobs?
So for me with Jacobs is that like he's switching a team, right? He came from the Raiders. He's moving over to Green Bay. I went a little bit low on him in the beginning just because I feel like with the Green Bay offense, they pass a lot, right? And they have like a two back system, right? Because if you watched it last year, it was Aaron Jones and DJ Dillon, right? And they
Yeah,
were
yeah,
kind of
AJ. Yep.
sharing
hmm
and they were AJ, my bad. AJ
No worries.
Dillon. So they were like sharing like the backfield, right? And obviously Aaron Jones was the guy, right? And what happened to Aaron Jones last year is he got injured really early. So I feel like Green Bay is going to be a little bit more conservative with their runs. And I feel like Jordan Love's going to be slinging it. I don't think they're going to be a run heavy team, although I feel like his ADP is actually going up just because of if you're not paying attention, which you should, download the Sleeper app or just hop on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and get updates on beat reporters because AJ Dillon is now on the pup list, right? Or no, he's
Yes,
injury
sir.
reserve.
He's on
No, he's injury
IR.
reserve.
He's
Yeah,
out for
so
the
he's
season.
he's out for the season. So Josh Jacobs right now is the lone back for Green Bay, and we like that aspect, right? That means that he's not sharing any time. One thing I like about Josh Jacobs as well too is that he can catch the ball. You want that in a running back. You don't want to just like ground and pound. You want that option of where he can actually catch it, especially for PPR formats. So, although I started him at 14, I do kind of want to move him up like 2 spots, maybe to that 12,
Yep.
12 maybe.
Yep.
I'm
Now,
thinking.
in retrospect, fantasies happen so fast. So I could see, how your initial rankings last night before we got the news today that he was. I think the news came across today, right? That Dylan was out for
It
the year.
did. It came
Yeah.
on the sleeper app.
So you jump up. Some of these guys definitely jump up. Marshawn Lloyd, the beneficiary there in Green Bay. Jumping on a little further down. I got Cook at 12. You have him at 15. Again, nothing to scoff at. Nothing too crazy. Derrick Henry's a guy that I feel like me and you are relatively, I don't want to say high or too low. We're kind of just like in the middle, but I've seen him anywhere from seventh overall all the way to like 18. So it's
Mm.
interesting to see where we have him at. Rashad White, we both have at 14. I am very, very high on Rashad White. The guy could do it all. He just has some fumble problems, but definitely excited about him.
Honestly, like I want to be real, and uh, I'm not high on Rashad White.
Mm,
I'm just not. His like he tricked me. I had him last year, right? And keep in mind, don't base your opinion on last year's volume or last year's statistics because it's a new year. So you got to wipe the plate or the slates clean. Wow, I'm stumbling today. Okay, anywho, long story longer. I don't like his production. I don't like him in his offense. I think their line sucks. Honestly, Tampa Bay's line sucks. Um, so I'm not really high on him. Honestly, I would avoid him unless you really, really have to. Um, I don't think he's the guy at that ADP. I would avoid him honestly unless you have to draft him, but I wouldn't draft him until like the later rounds.
sure, sure. I understand that. I'm really high on him. I kind of wanted to move him up. I just couldn't move him up over King Henry, just knowing what he's done. And I like James Cook just based on volume. Now that they are Stefan Diglis, I guess you could say. They don't have him anymore. I think he's just going to get more touches.
Did you say
So I
Stefan
just
Diglis?
Diglis, it did.
Like Dickless?
Yeah, kind of. I was trying to go there.
Awesome. I caught it.
Yeah, we'll keep going. Kenneth Walker, we're similar. Alvin
But
Kamara, another
honestly,
guy.
like, hold on,
Mhm,
I'm
mhm.
gonna go back to Rashad White. Like, a lot of
Yeah,
people are down on him, dude. Like, I've been
they
watching.
are. They
I
are.
hop on my TikTok a lot and kind of go over like different fantasy, I guess, gurus, if you will, and everyone's like, avoid, avoid, avoid Rashad White. And I kind of agree with him, dude. Like his production value, like number one, he's like super, super touchdown dependent. So he's not going to give you a lot of yards. So that kind of sucks with the RB, right? Because like the touchdown's like the cherry on top, right? That's the like, oh, got it over, right? So I don't see him having like high volume. And I think Tampa Bay is going to be playing from behind quite a bit. So I don't see a lot of production out of the backfield.
I hear
Moving
you on
on.
that. I hear you on that. Let's keep going. Another guy that's interesting. I have Kamara at 16. You have him at 11. What's your stance on Kamara?
Kamara, I'm really actually high on. I feel like he's a little bit low. Like, I based so my like base point, I use footballpros.com, which phony homies, if you're new to the whole fantasy thing, or if you're kind of like in the middle tier and you just haven't really gotten to the playoffs or like you're one and done, definitely look at these rankings. I feel like they're pretty fair, and I think it gives you kind of like a good standing point. Going back to Alvin Kamara, I have him ranked at number 11. I think he's going to have a bounce back year. Last year was okay. He's kind of middle of the pack. I have him in a tier 3. I think he's a sneaky stash, if you will. And I think he's a RB1, right? Because he's going to catch the ball. Saints are using him quite a bit. The only thing I'm kind of questioning about is the actual quarterback play. So I don't know if Carr is going to be like a hero quarterback where he's going to just be slinging it and trying to get the touchdown, or if they're going to be smart and utilize Alvin Kamara. And I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't New Orleans get like a new offensive coordinator or
Yes, sir. Yes, they
okay.
did.
So I feel like we're gonna see a change. So I'm a little bit higher on him. I wouldn't take him in your like top, first two rounds. I would try maybe third, fourth round right in there. I think that's a sweet spot.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Another name we have.
You,
Sorry about that. Another name we have a big
oh, okay,
discrepancy
go.
on is Zamir White. Where you at on Zamir White?
Zamir White. Sorry, dude. I'm looking at
I have him
mine.
at 20. You have him at 25.
Okay. Um, I'm not a fan of Las Vegas, bro. Like, there's a lot of question marks, right? We got Minshew at quarterback. You got offensive coordinator that's new. They kept their coach, which is great. Although I do see the offensive coordinator utilizing Adams. So if you're watching like preseason, you saw Adams getting the ball, which if story time, if you're watching like Netflix and you actually watch the wide receivers or the Netflix like series when they kind of like go over the football players, this time they were going over wide receivers. I feel like Adams really made his case. Samir White, I think honestly, I do have him a little bit low. He is definitely someone who can catch the ball, so he's mobile there. So I think they're going to utilize him more. So maybe I was a little too, down on him.
Nah, nah. I think you're good.
But I just don't trust their offense. I don't like their offense. I want to be honest. Like I'm not a
That's
huge
fair.
fan. And
That's
that's
fair.
another thing that I look at when it comes to running backs, wide receivers, or quarterbacks is like, what's their offense like? How are they like
Here's my
adjusting
stance. Here's
and
my
how
stance
they're
on
move?
that deal. Sorry to jump in.
That's fine.
They lost their tight end. He retired. Darren Waller
Yes,
is
they do.
gone.
Yeah.
So I just feel like he'll catch a few more balls, even though he's not really the
Didn't they
greatest.
get a new tight end?
They
Bowers?
do. They have
Who-
Brock, but he's hurt for a few weeks. I think he's gone for like week
Oh.
6 or 8, somewhere in that range.
But he's like a gadget dude. Like he can do it all,
He could
right?
do everything. He could
Yeah.
do
Because I remember talking
everything.
to him last year. Okay, go ahead.
He could even play running back for a few plays. That's crazy. Yeah, in a dynasty league, I really like him. But yeah, not such a big discrepancy, but that's kind of where we're at. We got Ramondre at 20, DeAndre Swift. We're homers. We got him a little higher. Got him 22. I really wanted to move him up. I think he has a chance to really move to crack the top 15. I really do.
Swifty?
Hmm.
The thing
If he stays
about
healthy.
Swifty, and I'm a homer, right? We're Bears fans, yeah. I love him. The only thing is like health, right? Because we saw him on the Lions, right? We do know that like normally the Chicago Bears are usually run heavy. This year, I feel like it's a little bit different. Obviously, with Caleb Williams, I think they're going to be a little bit more pass heavy. But I do agree. I think like honestly, um, I think Swift is definitely going to move up. And obviously, like Hertz actually stole or vultured a lot of his actual touchdown production. So
Yep.
he got the yardage. So it kind of burn you because you're like, oh my God,
Hmm.
he got it. And then get on the goal line and all of a sudden he saw Hertz
And
go for
hurts
it.
exactly.
And I don't know. I mean, is Caleb going to do that? We don't know.
I don't think so.
I think the Bears are honestly probably going to keep him safe. So
Yeah. Yeah. They're gonna get mad at him if he does anything like Hurts
yeah, they're
does.
going to be like, give it to Swift. What are you doing?
Yeah. Exactly.
But
Exactly.
you still have that crowded backfield a little bit, right? Because you got Rojo, right?
Yep. And you got
And you got
Khalil.
Herbert.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like any of those guys, like if Swifty's doing like all the work, I could see one of those guys, they punch him in like because they're bruisers. I would say like Rojo, and I would say, Herbert are definitely like guys who can take hits and that are gonna like plow through the defense. So
Agreed.
they might you might see at the goal line, maybe a fresh set of legs. But I do think Swift, I don't know. I'm okay with keeping that at 23. I don't think that's some guy that you're going to target early. I
Yeah.
think that's a guy is at like RB2, maybe even possibly a flex, depending on how your team's set up.
Well, good points. All good points. Looking at this list a little more, Dia. Some of the other guys that we have on here, I have Pollard at 23, even at 27. In the preseason, he looked like he got his speed back. Last year, he looked really bad, but this year in the preseason, he looked like he had that jolt. And if he has that same step, that quick step, that first step, I think he's going to be really good for the Titans. I could definitely see that.
Hold
Continuing on, we
on,
have
I'm sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
I know we're trying to move and trying to like make it happen. But with Tony Pollard, the thing that I'm worried about is the actual offensive, right? The offensive coordinator. Number one, you got a quarterback that's going to be slinging the ball, and I'll cover that like why. There's a one guy that I think is going to be a really sneaky start at wide receiver. I don't see him. I think the days of them like ground and pound and just run the ball and like Tony Pollard is going to be is not Derrick Henry, right? So I think they've caught up to the 21st, 22nd century of NFL, and it's all about like you see it in the air. So that's why I'm really low on Tony Pollard. I don't think he's going to be like the feature guy. I think he's going to help you, but he's going to be super touchdown dependent, and I wouldn't draft him. I mean, I would go late on him too.
Yeah, I don't love him, but I think he has a talent. Just because what I saw when he was healthy, when he did have that quick step, I thought he could be a top 20 running back in the league. If he's got that again, which it looks like he does, I could be wrong. I just got him
Mm,
ranked where I got him.
preseason sucked.
He does.
Anyways, go ahead. Go
Yeah, it
ahead.
does suck. Continuing on, got Javante, same. Brian Robinson, another guy that I have a little higher than you. No, nothing really, just opportunity. I think he's gonna get a lot of opportunities. That's really it.
I have him at I do have him at 29, and I agreed with Fantasy Pros, right? But I
Uh,
think honestly, like this is a value pick. I think he could honestly finish in the top 12. I'm gonna be dead
really,
ass.
I'm not
Yeah,
there, but I'm not even
I'm
close
there.
to there.
I'm there because I think their quarterback, right? He's a different. He's different. He's not like the pass pocket. He can move it. And I really think that Brian Robinson's like he had a pretty decent year last year. And if you I think was this is this his second or third year? I
I
think
think it's
I
his
want to
third. I
call
think
it
it's
his
his
second
second.
year because his first
Yeah,
year didn't he get
the
injured
he
like
got
real
shot.
bad?
He got
Yeah, he
shot,
got shot.
and he
Dude
came
got
out to
shot.
Many Men. He came out to Many Men by 50 Cent. Many men wish death upon me. Hell yeah.
And typically running backs in their second season really take that jump, right? Last year he was a really I think I'm more like PPR like formatted. I'm really like focused on that. I think he could be a guy that like honestly could help you in many weeks coming up ahead. I think they got a easier schedule. I don't think it's like super hard, and I think he would be like a value pick. Now, once again,
Interesting.
I wouldn't go like crazy. I wouldn't like target him in like all of your leagues. I wouldn't target him like in the fifth round or anything like that. I would get him in the lower rounds. But especially in PPR formats, I think he could be your guy, dude. I think
Ooh, I
he
like that. Yeah, there's a guy that we don't agree on at all, and that
okay.
is the one and only James Conner. I'm gonna throw it to you. I want to hear your stance on James Conner.
I got James Conner at number 18. Here's the thing, guys. Okay. I'm really high on Arizona this year. And here's why. Because of the simple fact that I feel that Arizona, they got Kyler Murray back. He's off of that. Um, he's off the injury, and I feel like he's gonna be a really great addition, right? And I'm all about stacking. I think him, Trey McBride, and Connor are going to be huge. Not only that, like if you look statistically, if I could talk, statistically, thank you. I think Connor is actually like done very well. I mean, he's consistent. When Kyler's on the field, like you saw a team without Kyler, they were like what 1-8. Kyler comes back and all of a sudden he's like the magic dust. And actually they start winning games and they finish the league pretty strong. So that's why I feel like James Conner, I'm high on him just because number one, he can catch the fucking ball, right? Number two, he's shown you that he can make it happen. He's not super touchdown um dependent, and he does actually hit the end zone when he can. So that's why I have him at 18. I feel like he's a sneaky stash, and I honestly feel like you should target him in the later rounds, like especially if you are going. I mean, I kind of thought that concept of, if you're drafting wide receivers like super early, this is a great guy to add in. He's like a RB2. What do you think, JC?
I like it. Good points. Good points. My only thing is he's kind of getting older. The guy has had a lot of injuries, and he's got a rookie breathing down his neck in Trey Benson, who I'm kind of high on. I know he's going to be out for a few weeks, but once he gets in there, I think they're going to try to feature him. They're going to kind of ease him in, and then Connor's going to his touches will decline. That's kind of where I'm
Okay.
at.
So here's the thing is that number one, Julio agrees with me when it comes to Brian Robinson Jr. Thank you, Julio. So now you're showing that I actually know a little bit more than JC. So thank you, dude.
I love that. Love that.
Okay, he's like blowing up our chat, but I really like what he's saying. Another one, Jaden Downs going to make those around him that much better. I agree. Washington quarterback just drafted. I totally agree with that. And he's a mobile quarterback. I wouldn't draft him like super high, but he might be a sneaky little stash. And last but not least, thank you, Julio. Here we go, dude. James Conner, the human pinball. I totally agree, dude. This dude, I'm telling you, man, like he came from the Steelers. He knows what he's doing. You were using the restroom, but you missed out on the opportunity where I kind of talked about statistically, like where he's at with that. And honestly, I feel that James Conner has actually, when healthy, been a huge addition. Like he's going to get you consistent points. He's going to be that guy that you can stick in the RB2 and set and forget it. I mean, he's not like a Christian McCaffrey style, but he should be there.
Set it and forget it. Love it. Let's go ahead and finish off on the running backs if we can, DL. A few last names that we have here.
You're back from
looking at it. Raheem, we have similar. Aaron Jones, I have at 28. You have him at 19. The Packer love. You love for the old Packers. Let us know why you have him at 19.
Okay, so why I put him there is because of the quarterback play. Like that's another thing you got to like realize. He's got I'm forgetting his name because JJ McCarthy went down. Carolina. He was just on San Francisco. Survey says.
Who? I'm sorry. Who?
The quarterback from Minnesota.
Oh, Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. Wow. I'm struggling, guys. My bad. So the reason why I'm a little bit high, I think he's going to give a jolt to this offense early, right? So that's why he's in my like tier 4 kind of like aspect. I think he's going to fade towards the end of the season when they kind of get in rhythm. But Aaron Jones, once again, I had him last year when he was healthy with the Green Bay Packers. He put up quite a big number. I'd say like 28. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he is getting older. He is injury prone, but when he's on fire, he's on fire. Like he's going to get you a lot of points, and the dude can catch the ball. Depending on where the actual, how the Vikings actually utilize him is yet to be seen. But I think in this division, I mean, it's gonna be a little bit tough. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a little bit tough.
I agree. That's why I have him at 28, but you have him at 19 because you know what he can do. You've seen it. We've all seen it. As Bears fans, we've seen it. I got Tajay Spears at 29. You got him at 31. Here's a guy that I'm really high on. Chase Brown, the pride of U of I, baby. Running back for U of I. I think he's going to overtake Zach Moss. It's only a matter of time. He's just more explosive. He's faster. He can do more in less space. I think I'm one of the only people out here that has him ranked higher than Zach Moss. Yeah, so you do too.
There's two of us. 32.
Yeah,
Here's the thing. Like Zach Moss, wow, great season last year. But as we're like saying before, like you got to erase what you can't go into this draft going off of last year's numbers because everything changes. New O-line, new offensive coordinators, new team, and what have you, right? Chase Brown is young, right? Zach Brown, I mean, he's not old. He's not like over the hill or he's like towards the end of his career. But Chase Brown, like throughout like minicamp, has really turned some heads. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. I think Chase Brown's going to win the spot. And I think Zach Brown's going to be like, I guess we'll give Brown a break. However, not a bad handcuff. With Cincinnati, dude, like I'm a little bit nervous just because that O-line, like, yeah, it got a little bit better, but it's not great. But I have a feeling that like they're going to be slinging the ball once again. I don't feel too comfortable with the running backs that they have in the backfield. I wouldn't like bet my paycheck on it. I think that they're going to be, I would say, like matchup dependent, if you will.
Okay. Yeah, I see that. I respect that. Wrapping up here at running backs, DL, are there any names here that you're shaky on or guys that you like really late?
Actually, Ezekiel Elliott. Dude, I think he's gonna be sneaky. I
Yeah.
think he's gonna be that guy that, like, towards the later round, like your 10th pick, you're just like, oh, who the hell do I grab? Grab Zeke. Because I think, last year on the Patriots, he didn't like, you weren't like, oh my God, he's like a set and forget it. But the Patriots were playing from behind quite a bit. Now that Dallas has actually signed CD Lamb to a huge contract, obviously I think their offense is going to move up. And Zeke's got a little bit of that goal line presence. So I think he's kind of a sneaky stash. I mean, once again, I want to bet my paycheck, but I think he's something that I would put. Also, Nick Chubb, I got him really low. I got him 39, obviously, because he's dealing with an injury. He's going to start the season on the pub list, right? So he's going to be out for the first 4 games. So, I mean, if he's floating, I definitely would grab him, because if he does come back, it might be worth it if you have that room on your bench, right? If it's between him and like some random rookie that you've never really heard about, I would always go with Nick Chubb. He's right in that prime spot as far as age is concerned. And I mean, what was it? Last year he was like, or 2 years ago, I would say. Last year he kind of fell off, but 2 years ago, before the injury, he was at least top 5, right? Top 5 running backs.
Who was?
Nick Chubb. So I wouldn't fade him
Nick
too
Chubb
hard.
was, bro. God, that's a guy that I think is a good stash. Real good stash. A real good stash.
What about you? Who are you shaking on, or who do you think would be sneaky?
Yeah, let me give you some quick names here that guys that I'm high on. I'm kind of scared of Zach Charbonnet and what he's going to do to Kenneth Walker and how he's going to take some touches away from him. Another guy that I'm very, very interested in seeing is on this list is going to be Blake Corum. Really interested to see how he melds into his team and how he does. I'm very high. I've always been high on J.K. Dobbins, buddy of mine, Tim, who I co-own a team with. We've always been high on him. He just can't stay healthy. But if he finds a way to get on the field, I think he's super talented. Rookie Trey Benson, we alluded to earlier, and who we talked about in regards to his teammate, James Conner. I think Trey Benson, it's only a matter of time before he takes the job away from James Conner and becomes the premier running back in Arizona. Another guy that's very interesting is Jaleel McLaughlin over in Denver. I definitely think he's going to eat a bunch of snaps. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for 600 yards this year. I just think he's super talented. He's also like a pinball, like a little bowling ball. He reminds me a lot of Maurice Jones-Drew. Let's see. Another guy, lastly, that I want to talk about is Marshawn Lloyd. You know what? Before I talk about Marshawn, let's talk about Khalil Herbert. A lot of people are really high on Roschon Johnson here in Chicago because he's a big bruiser. He's like a really tough, strong running back. I think Khalil Herbert is going to shake his finger and say, not yet. It's not time yet. Khalil Herbert is a running back that could be a number 1 on some other teams, could be the starting running back on a bunch of other teams in the NFL. I think he can do a lot. He could run a lot. He could do a lot. Big fan of Khalil Herbert and what he could do for the Bears. Wouldn't surprise me if he helps be that 1-2 punch between DeAndre Swift and himself. And lastly, Marshawn Lloyd, a guy that I'm very, very excited about. He is going to get the touches, and I think it's only a matter of time before the Packers see what they have in him. I think he's going to be really good. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. And Josh Jacobs is a dog. Don't get me wrong, but I think Marshawn Lloyd is going to teach, kind of show them that they have to do a 1-2 punch. I really believe that. All right, Deal. Let's go ahead and jump over to another position, Deal.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about, wow.
Just go ahead and get that.
There we go. Let's get it rolling. So you're going to go ahead and share your list, which you already have up, correct? Okay, cool.
It's an insane list.
So before we kind of dive into this, here's the thing. Obviously, wide receivers, as we mentioned before, are deep, very deep, but don't think you're going to get the best guys towards the end, right? So it's really important that you're targeting, depending on your draft pick, and how you want to structure your team. I can't stress that enough. That is my mantra, is like, I don't want to be micro. I want to be macro. What do I want my overall team to look like? Do I get that mobile quarterback? Do I get that tight end early? If I'm going to go for these wide receivers, okay, cool. So who do I want to grab as running back? Obviously, I want to grab like first tier second tier with running back, and then like for example, I'm starting off at position 6 in one of my drafts. I already know 14-man league. So that being said, who would be my first pick, Jay-Z?
Oh, easy. CeeDee Lamb for both of us. CeeDee Lamb for both
Okay,
of us. So
I
I'm
like
just going
it.
to go ahead and scroll down, and he doesn't need to be in these rankings much longer. A few other guys that we have here, DL. A few other guys I want to talk about. I do want to throw it to you on these. I got Tariq with you. He's a burner. Guy's crazy fast. We both have him at 2. I got Jamar at 3. You have him at 5. No biggie. I got JJ at 4. You got him at 3. No biggie. Amon Ra. Do him at 4. I have him at 5. The guy's always healthy. He's going to play. He's not a good offense. He's a dog. I mean, honestly, he's interchangeable between 2 and 5.
So I'm going to interrupt you
AJ?
hold on. I want to interrupt you just real quick because here's the thing, like, right? We're looking when you're looking at wide receivers, right? We're looking for what? We're looking for youth, right? And what are they in their freshman? Are they rookies or are they vets, right? So I've been seeing a lot of things coming out, although it doesn't sway me in the number 2 pick with Treek Hill, but Treek Hill's getting he's getting up there, right? So one thing that we always want to kind of keep in mind is the target. So make sure that if you're looking at the pass, right? We already talked about forget the pass, blah, blah, blah. But actually take a look at the pass when it comes to like volumes and targets. If it's 8 or more targets throughout the year or throughout the season, or if you can break it up that way, that's your guy. So I know a lot of people, some of the younger like fantasy pros are saying like, oh, avoid Treek if you can get Jamar Chase or CeeDee Lamb. The thing about Jamar Chase is that he's seeking a new contract. And just today, I got an update from Sleeper, by the way, download their app, that Jamar Chase was like 14 minutes late to practice. He's been kind of playing that holdout game. So be a little bit cautious about that. You don't want to be holding the bag and then he's not showing up. And then all of a sudden you're pivoting and trying to figure out what you're going to do at wide receiver when you draft him this high. These 5 guys that we mentioned, CeeDee Lamb, Treek Hill, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, which I love that guy. He's like one of my favorites. And Justin Jefferson. These are like round 1, right? Like depending on where you're picking, these are the guys that are gonna go quick in the first round. So sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. No, I agree. Everything you said, I agree with. We got a bunch of guys that are similar. I do want to talk about a guy here that's very interesting. So we got AJ at 6, Garrett at 7. I have Puka at 8. You have him at 11. But there's a reason why you have him at 11. Because if we look here, I'm going to highlight him. You have Cooper Kupp at 8 ahead of Puka.
Yes, I do.
Respect wholeheartedly. I want to go ahead and get into that with you. I want to know why you have him so high and why you have him over Puka.
Here's why. Okay, number 1, let's talk about Puka Nacua, right? Like he got a lot of volume last year. Why? Because Cooper Kupp was out, right? He was dealing with an injury. And I just honestly feel that like with Puka, he's still injury prone. He was dealing with like a knee injury actually. And he was just having some issues there, right? I've heard other with like beat reporters from Twitter saying that like the offense is actually running through Cooper Kupp, old and steady, reliable, right? And I think that continues. I don't really see it is a constant debate because Puka's a new kid on the block. He had a breakout season his rookie year, and typically with wide receivers, their sophomore year, we saw with Odell Beckham, they really come on strong. But however, I feel like Cooper Kupp is still the guy. He's the number 1. I honestly, I feel like you could be confident, but I'm going to play it safe maybe and actually draft a Cooper Kupp over Puka. So that's where I stand on that.
Love that. Really do. I really do. I respect the shit out of that. I didn't have the balls to do it, but I think Cooper's going to have a better year than Puka. But I'm with you on that completely. I really am. I just couldn't. I didn't have the balls to do it. So props to you. I have Drake at 9 in the top 10. You have him at 12. Devontae. I mean, what can you say about Devontae? We're Bears fans. We know what Devontae can do. We know what the guy can do. Continuing on, I got Deebo at 13. You have him at 19. Interesting. I think you're gonna have to bump him up a little bit. I think that's just me. We both got Jalen at 14. Ayuk is an interesting guy. We could
This
both be wrong.
this is okay. So this is where I was gonna, and I didn't even know how to rank these two guys because they were like neck and neck, right? With the Brandon Ayuk drama that is going on, like I don't know what's gonna happen. He's not showing up. Like he's not showing up to San Francisco. That broke again over like X, Twitter, Sleeper, what have you. But he's not even there, bro. So it's really hard to rank these two guys. One thing about Debo, I think he has a really strong floor, right? I mean, in the past, they've used him all over the place, right? He's running balls. He's in, the slot. He's going deep. He's running over people. I think the thing with Debo that kind of makes me a little bit nervous is how, is he going to hold up? Is he going to stay healthy? Is he going to be the guy that can get you through to the end? And that's where I'm a little bit hesitant on him, just because I feel like, with his ADP, you're going to draft him a little bit high and you might be missing out on some of these other really great wide receivers that are a little bit more consistent and you don't have that fear.
Agreed. No, I understand what you're saying and where you're at on that. I really do. Definitely scared about Ayuk and what's going to happen. I find that a lot of times when guys sit out, they come back. They're not the same guy.
And I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. Ayuk
Yep.
had one really great season last year. One, right? Am I wrong? Did he have like back-to-back season? And like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. He had one really great season and he's demanding wide receivers, what they're getting paid is going through the roof. Like and I'm a homer, but I love what the Bears did. They locked down DJ Moore real quick and they're like, here you go. Here's your extension before the market goes fucking
So here's what
nuts.
I'll say. So Ayuk, he had 2 good seasons. He's been in the league for 4 years. His rookie season, he had 60 catches and 748 yards, 5 touchdowns. His sophomore season, he had 56 receptions, so 4 less, but he had more yards, 826, 5 touchdowns. 2022, his third year, he had 1,015 yards, so he became a 1,000-yard receiver, which is kind of like the gold standard, and he had 8 touchdowns. And then last year, he had 1,342 yards, and he had 7 TDs. So I think he's really good. I think he's worthy of a number 1 wide receiver tag. But saying that, I think he's worthy of a top. A lot of people will say he's top 10. I'm going to say he's top 15. That's just me. But not practicing kind of worries me. It really worries me.
I think you got to keep in mind too that you got Shanahan as running the offense, right? Yep. Shanahan's like the guru, right? He's almost like a Belichick. He finds like some random ass players, and all of a sudden they're like. I'm not saying Ayuk is a random ass player, but he knows how to like utilize their talents and have them peak, right?
He can make a lot of guys really good for sure.
Exactly. If you saw Ayuk on like the Patriots, which they were talking about before, he turned it down. Like, I give Ayuk credit for like, being very transparent. He's like, I'm not going there. I'm going here. Da, 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 da. But now we're getting into the season and it's like, dude, what are you going to do, bro? You're really going to sit out and like lose all that money? I don't know. Anyways, we'll get off that drama because it's very, very.
It is. Continuing on, and we have Nico. You have him 15. Respected. I have him at 17. I got Evans at 18. You have him at 16. He's usually a top 15 receiver, so probably going to agree with you. It's going to be cool to see. We should definitely go back and look at these rankings.
Absolutely.
See where we were and like compare and contrast who is closer. I got DK at 19. You have him at 22. I've always been a fan of DK Metcalf. Obviously, his dad played for the Bears, so definitely been interested in his career. And I just think he's a dog. I think if you put him on the right team, I think if he played for the Bears, he probably would be the number 1 over everybody, over DJ.
He would come back to his
Rome.
He would come back to his offensive coordinator. That's why he's so low this year for me, just because there's a lot of changes, right? They lost their head coach. They got a new offensive coordinator. We really don't know what their identity is. DK Metcalf has been in league, I think he's in his prime. He's in his prime. I don't think he's like done. I think he's there, but at the same token, like we don't know how they're going to utilize him. So
he's only 26. He's definitely in his prime.
No, he's in his
26 to 30 is like the fucking prime.
Oh,
the guy's been a 1,000-yard receiver 3 times in his career already in 5 years. So, he's a dog. I got DJ Moore just after DK Metcalf. I think DJ, if you've been watching Hard Knocks, if you've been watching Bears preseason, then you kind of know he's poised for a monster year. I think he's poised for the best year of his career. And it wouldn't surprise me if he goes for 1,400 yards this year. They're going
Okay.
to use him in a lot of different ways.
So, okay, I'm a homer. Obviously, we're both homers, right? Go Chicago Bears, bear down, baby. We're going to fucking do it this year. However, I have a conspiracy theory, right? And maybe you've heard of this before, but usually when like players have signed their contract, and I saw with Matt Forte, and this is like really what like brought it. They're all of a sudden. I'm not saying DJ Moore is gonna like be lax, because I think he's just a competitor. But usually you see kind of a dip on that.
Interesting.
Once,
Good point.
once again, too, like if you look at the Bears, you got a rookie quarterback, right? Love Caleb Williams. I think he is him. I think he's going to take over and be the guy. But at the same time, he's got a lot of people to feed. And him and Keenan Allen, like, how's that going to work out? Because they're two alphas on that team. And then you got a Dunze, right? I think we're going to see a lot of like upside with DJ Moore. I think you're going to have some really good games. And then I'm going to see you're going to have kind of like in the middle of the road where he gives you like 10, maybe 15 points, which could be great because that could like push you over the top. But I don't think he's going to have the like year that he had last year with like Justin Fields. Not saying that he had like oh my God, he had like the greatest year ever. But when they started like working him, he had like 50 points depending on like your league structure. So I think he is I think he's a really good flex or even a wide receiver 2 on your team, but like I'm a little nervous. I don't know.
Look,
like
man, I'm a proponent of taking 2 good wide receiver 2s. If you get an elite running back, an elite quarterback, an elite tight end, I'm a proponent of that. So I wouldn't be mad if somehow
strategy, baby.
Dude, if somehow I got, I don't know, like a Lamar Jackson, a Sam Laporta, let me another like a lead running back. Let's say we got Bijan. So you went Bijan, and then you went.
So talk about the turn. So break it down a little bit more, just in case we have some new phone.
Let's say you got 6. Let's say you pick number 6.
Number 6,
yes. Bijan, right? Somehow or 5 for 4, Bijan, and then on the comeback you went. I don't know, you went Allen or Lamar Jackson or Pat Mahomes, and then the comeback you went Sam Laporta, and then over here you went elite receiver like, I don't know, or a good receiver like maybe you went Cup or DJ Moore, or then on the comeback again you went Malik Neighbors. I think that's elite. I mean, that's fucking super loaded. That's just me, but
yeah,
no, you can do better than that. It's insane. It's insane.
So to break it down even more for me, like what I would go with. Depending on draft pick, right? Like I would get 2 elite running backs starting off if you can, if you're in that sweet spot. If you see them go off the board, then you got to go stack your wide receivers, right? You're not going to pick like a running back until like round 5, right? And you still got some value there. But you got to understand like what I'm going for this year. Personally, for me, I want a mobile quarterback and I want a running back that can catch the fucking ball. Like regardless of if it's standard or PPR, that's what I want because you're getting more points there. And then to put a bow on it, yeah, absolutely. You want maybe a 2 top wide receivers, but if you can get like one of these little guys, like these sneaky little nuggets, which I think DJ Moore's a sneaky little nugget. Malik Neighbors, I think, is a really sneaky nugget. But you're not going to start in week 1, right? Are you going to start? Well, let me ask you, would you start Malik Neighbors? I know I'm kind of pivoting off. Would you start in week 1?
Yeah, absolutely, without a question.
Because he's a beast, right? Like I'm high on Malik Neighbors. He's a rookie wide receiver. Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm high on him too because Kyler. Okay. Question: Malik Neighbors or Marvin Harrison Jr. Who would you pick out of those 2 rookies?
Marvin Harrison Jr. because he's the clear-cut number 1 with a good quarterback on a better offense than Malik Neighbors is on. He has Daniel Jones passing him the ball. Now, if you give Malik Neighbors Kyler Murray, give me Malik Neighbors. But because you're not, I'd rather have Marvin Harrison Jr.
Love it. Okay. So let's keep it moving. We're doing really good, dude. Like we're covering right running
Dude,
backs and wide receivers,
it's a
and
huge
we're under an
undertaking.
hour, and we're at like
Huge.
30. So
You know, there's some good comments that came in here, DL. I don't know if you want to go to some of the
sure,
messages.
absolutely. Oh, dang, I missed this. Okay, so I'm gonna start off because we were just talking about Metcalf, right? Probably goes most
Dude,
undervalued wide receiver
honestly,
ever in
he's
the
so
draft.
good.
He does.
He's a dog, bro. He's a freak. He's such a freak. Like,
And not only that, like there was a time where he was kind of up, and like there was like a little bit of a rumor that like maybe, just maybe, he might be a Bear. There's also
I remember that. Dude, he's
Julio is
6'4",
just blowing up our
bro.
thing, but he's giving some really great stuff. Always gets drafted late or at a low rate. Absolutely.
Yeah, DK does. Yeah.
And I really like this one. Super Bowl, Super Bears, let's go.
It's like the third time you play it. It's got to be played.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna keep playing it, and you don't have to
Awesome.
give us a $1 donation or $5. We will show all of your comments because
That we will.
That's how we roll.
That we will. All right, Dale. A few more wide receivers that I want to go over with you before we close this out. Let's jump down. I got T. Higgins. Well, let's talk about Malik Neighbors really quickly because he's another wide receiver. He's a rookie.
Yes.
He's in New York. He's going to be the guy there. He doesn't really have any competition as the number 2 or number 3. He's got Daniel Jones, which is why I don't rank him in the top 20. And I think that's exactly why you don't rank him in the top 20. And that's really all I got to say about Malik. I think he's a freak athlete.
He's a beast, bro. He is a fucking beast. If you watch Hard Knocks like early, if you watch the New York Giants Hard Knocks as well too, where they're talking, he's competitive as a motherfucker, right? And he was also on the same team with Roma Dunze, right? So what I was honestly I was like, please let us get Malik Neighbors or Roma Dunze. I want like one or two, like either or. I would be totally satisfied. I'm really glad the Bears got a Dunze. I think he's going to develop. It's going to be a fun thing to watch throughout the years. But Malik Neighbors is a dog, bro. They're going to run the offense through him, right? They got rid of Saquon, right? So the running game isn't there. But as you mentioned before, the quarterback play, they got to move on from Daniel Jones. I'm sorry, bro. I don't know why they extended him. I don't know why they're keeping him around. If you watched him in preseason, and yes, I get it. Don't come at me. Oh, it's only preseason. But it's like Daniel Jones gave up what, like 2 picks? And he just looks like the same Daniel Jones that you're going to see year after year. And honestly, I've been watching the New York Giants for like a couple years, and I feel like that's where wide receivers die. Honestly, straight up.
It's no longer Chicago, huh? I love that. Fuck you, Muhammad. Fuck you.
Dude. Like that's where they go to die. Like, and they get some really great guys, and they don't do anything. And like, I don't know if it's like because Daniel Jones sucks, or it's a way that the offensive coordinator is like positioning these guys. But like, honestly, it's trash. And I'm really thinking it's Daniel Jones. Sorry. I'll get off my soapbox.
He does suck. The only other guy we disagree on, I'm going to go grab a beer real quick. So if you can enlighten me during this next 15 seconds.
Sure. You want me to go on another rant?
No, T. Higgins. I got him at 23. You got him at 29. Why?
Okay. So for T. Higgins, the reason why I have him a little bit lower than anything, I don't know, man. Like, okay, so I had him last year as the guy, right? I thought because you didn't see Chase, right? Jamar Chase was out of the picture. I thought he would have a huge year, although he got injured as well too. And I think there's wow, that's the fastest beer ever. Okay, you're back. Wow, I don't even know why you just be like, all right, I want to grab beer back. Okay, anywho, so my thing with T. Higgins is I've seen it through 3 years now, and I think he's there. I think he's a solid wide receiver too. But I feel like anytime that anyone's ever drafted him, they're still playing that waiting game. They're still debating, should I start him? Should I not? Because he's either going to blow your shit up, which he has on my bench, and then you play him, and then he sucks ass. So I don't know if, I honestly don't know if it was just quarterback play last year because they didn't have their guy, but I don't know. T. Higgins, he's such a gamble for me. And that's why I'm a little bit lower. Maybe it's just I got burned. Maybe it's a little and you're muted. Maybe it's just like a little bit like ex-girlfriend, like
Yeah, she hurt you before.
yeah, she hurt me. Like, you ain't gonna hurt me again, T.
I bet, bro. That's the best
So that's
way.
why.
That's how
I think
get
that's
it.
why I have him low. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
let me give you one more
More
name.
emotional.
Look, I disagree because I think he's a freak and he's huge and he's like a big target. He's got a crazy target radius, but I get it. Let me give you another guy, Tank Dell. I have 24. I think I have him really high.
Ooh, I love
personally.
Tank Dell. Give me Tank
You know,
Dell
my
all day.
31. So
He's my guy.
I think he's another like speedster. He kind of reminds me of like a Steve Smith kind of guy. Let's see
I
how
like that.
let's see how the rest of his career kind of pans out. But I think he's going to be a smaller possession receiver, a guy who can do a lot in a phone booth. You know, I just need him to put on some more muscle so he can be more physical, like Steve did in his career. But he probably will be pissed because I know he's on social media. He'd be pissed if I said that. But Tank Dell's a freak. I think he's really good.
If you can grab anyone in Houston, grab him. That offense looks fun as fuck.
So good. So
and
good.
Defense is going to be good as fuck.
Yep.
The thing that, like, you know, who really like shit the bed or like, you know, fucking ruins the party? Stephon Diggs.
Bro, you know, it's a guy
Stephon fucking Diggs. It was such a good fight.
Man.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry.
The Diva.
Like, he ruined it. Like, it was fun. It was like Nico Collins. Who the fuck is Nico Collins? Okay, this guy can go.
Yeah.
Oh, he got injured. Okay, Tank Dell. What an awesome name. Tank Dell, first of all. Great name. Fucking name. He helped me get through like a lot of like, he's awesome. Loved it. I was like, let's party, let's go. And then that fucking asshole shows up to the party and you're like, dude, killing the vibe, bro. Killing the vibe. He was fucking bitching on the sidelines. Sidelines.
Yes, he was.
Over what, bro? Like, okay, you're you were a has-been that never was. I'm gonna say it.
Ooh,
he's a has-been that never fucking was. What? Oh, okay. Like, he went to Buffalo, and how many Super Bowls did they win? Nothing.
Listen, man, his case is a curious case of diva wide receivers. He was a 1,000-yard receiver 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years in a row. If he probably would have stayed at one of these places, he could have been a 1,000-yard receiver for like.
But he's a diva.
9 or 10 years.
He's a little bitch.
But because he is this outspoken diva, now he might not go down as a Hall of Fame receiver. He might not now. You know, now he's gonna have a middling career. Yo, I have one more name to go over with you.
No, I'm sorry. Hold on. I know you're trying to wrap this up. I know I'm driving, but really,
no, it's not even that. I wanted to bring up what you're drinking.
Okay, DeAndre Hopkins or Stephon Diggs? Who's better?
All time? Or
between the two, who's better?
Right now or all
Diggs,
time?
All time.
Oh,
Hopkins or Diggs? Okay, cool. Mike Evans or Diggs?
Mike Evans, bro. Mike Evans.
Hall of Famer, right?
Mike Evans.
What the fuck did Diggs do? He caught a fucking ball in Minnesota in the whatever game that was against the Saints.
Extra time, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what propelled him. But before that, he sucked ass, bro. Even in fantasy. So I don't know where he's getting this like diva complex from. I don't know why he thinks he is him. You're not, bro. And now you're getting washed up. You're has-been that never was.
So looking at the stats here,
I mean, he's put up numbers. I'm not going to be like
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. DeAndre Hopkins has 7 years of over 1,000 yards, and he has 2 years over 1,500. Okay, 7 years. Stephon Diggs has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years of 1,000 yards and 1 year over 1,500.
Okay,
so 1 extra year, Hopkins has it, and then Mike Evans is a different case. Okay, I never want to disrespect Mike Evans.
He's been in the game. Mike Evans is a fucking Hall of Famer,
bro. Oh, easily.
He played with fucking Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, and he killed. Baker's not bad.
I want to say thank you, Julio. Well said. NYG is definitely a wide receiver graveyard. Thank you, dude. Thank you. Okay, sorry.
So Mike Evans has been in the league. He's been in the league since 2014. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years of 1,000 yards. Every single year in his career, he's at 1,000 yards. Every single year of his career, he's at 1,000 yards. I think Mike Evans is an underrated wide receiver, bro.
He is.
The guy's a dog, bro. You draft
dude. Not only that. Okay.
He rolls out of bed and gets 1,000 yards.
I got another little comparison, right? Like, You look at Mike Evans, like quarterback play, right? He's had some quarterbacks. Yeah, obviously he had Tom Brady, right, at one point, right?
Yeah.
But he had Baker Mayfield. He had like no names, right? You got Justin Jefferson, same thing, dude. Like Justin Jefferson had like who the fuck was their backup when Cousins went down? Do you remember? Don't look it up.
When Kirk went down in Minnesota.
Yeah, last year.
Oh man, it was and he was
Yeah, go
good.
ahead.
He was getting wins.
Yeah, what's his name? That's my point. It doesn't matter because he still had 1,000 fucking yard season.
He doesn't
right?
even play there anymore. Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins. Who is his quarterback in Houston?
He had a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah, exactly. Why? Because he is him. Stephon Diggs had Josh fucking
Dobbs in Minnesota. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Josh Dobbs, the astronaut. Great. Fucking Steve, dude. I told you, right? It's here. Like I'm
Hopkins.
It's
Hopkins
finally
had 11.
my brain.
11
I've hit that.
Listen, DeAndre Hopkins has had 11 different QBs. You ready? I'll give them the names. I have them. Matt Schaub, Case Keenum.
Oh, remember Case?
Yeah. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Ryan Mallett, Brian Hoyer, TJ Yates, Brandon Whedon, Brock Osweiler, Tom Savage,
Brock fucking Osweiler,
Deshaun Watson, AJ McCarron. Bro, half of those guys are out of the league, bro.
Yeah, but here's my point. I'm going to put a bow on all of this, right? We talked about Mike Evans. We talked about Justin Jefferson. We talked about DeAndre Hopkins, who had shit quarterbacks. I mean, I'm not a quarterback. I couldn't fucking play it. I'm not trying to shit on their face, but I am shitting on their face. And they made it happen, right? They had 1,000 fucking yard season, right? Fucking little bitch ass Diggs couldn't do it with Kirk Cousins, right? Then all of a sudden went over to Buffalo and got the fucking the number one or like arguably top 5 quarterback, and all of a sudden he blows up and everyone's like, oh, it's Stephon Diggs, let me give him a shirt. No, dude, he's a little bitch. Okay, those other guys made it happen with crap.
Yeah,
crap. But the guy throwing it,
chicken salad or chicken shit.
They made fucking plays, and they fucking did it because they wanted to. He's a little diva bitch, and he's ruining Houston. And I can't stand him. He's like one of those, like when you go to draft and you're like, get rid of the players that you do not want to draft. He's on that list. That's the guy like I don't want any part of. I don't care. I just don't like the dude. I think he's a little bitch. Case in point. Sorry.
Wow. Okay. Deal.
Sorry, that was high. That was high.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. If you could just share the list one more time.
Oh, my bad.
I just want to round out the list. No worries.
Sure.
No worries. It's good. Michael Pittman, I have a 26. You have a 17. Interesting. I wanted to get into that, but don't even worry about it. We'll keep going.
Wait, who?
Michael Pittman.
Okay.
We have a big discrepancy on you and I, but it's okay though. No worries. I think if Anthony Richardson is who we think he could be,
I think he's going to take a step.
I think
he's in his second year, stays healthy. He's going to take that step. Yeah. I don't think he's going to run as much. I think that he's going to be like a Fields, and I think he's going to start really like. It's going to be like a Caleb Williams.
You took some risks on your list, and I respect it. Cooper Kupp, Michael Pittman. There's a few guys on this list that you made that you took some risks on, and I respect it. We have Stephon Diggs. I have him 28, you have him 24. I think you're going to reflect more of a later stance when you update your list later on. But
I'm a little hot. I'm just like,
no worries.
He pissed me off in preseason. Like, why are you bitching at preseason? Anyways,
I get you. I think we're both low on Terry McLaurin, on Scary Terry. If Jaden Daniels is good, I could see McLaurin jumping into the top 25, maybe between 20 and 25, somewhere in that range. If Jaden Daniels is good. Jaden Daniels, the quarterback.
No. Who they
just got rid of Jahan Dotson. He just got traded.
Jahan Dotson, bro.
Who should be on my list. But
I'm like I missed the boat on. Wait, do I have him? I probably do.
I got Zay Flowers at 33. I'm at 27. I think.
Can we talk about that? Can we talk about how the Commanders got fleeced a little bit?
They got fleeced. So?
Oh yeah.
Why?
I think Jahan Dotson's gonna have a fucking year this year. I honestly do. I think he's gonna be. So there's another guy. Sneaky start later rounds. All right, moving on.
Good. I like that. A guy that I have that you didn't have ranked, but I have, Christian Watson. I'm a huge fan of his talent. I wanted the Bears to take him.
Okay.
When we talked about him. He was
Yes,
that sneaky,
I do
really
like Christian
freak
Watson.
athlete, white
Yep.
wide receiver. I think he's good. I've seen everything I needed to see during draft prep. I think if he stays healthy, which he's had bad hammies. If he can stay healthy, I think he's a better receiver than Jaden Reed, who
I
we
got
both.
him. I did actually list him in my
Okay.
tier 6, 42, right?
Hmm.
And the only reason why I went down is just because
Oh
I,
shit,
I
my bad.
I feel like the tight ends, um, Sam Musgrave, whatever. I feel like
Mustafa? Yeah.
he's going to be really good. But actually, I think
Oh,
that's really
Luke
low.
Musgrave. Yeah, yeah.
But I
Yeah,
also
they got
think
two good
Christian
tight ends.
Watson's going to eat, right?
Oh,
I
me
really
too,
do.
dude. I think he's a
I think he's
freak.
going to eat. I think that's. I went lower because I just didn't feel he was like in that repertoire of like, all right.
No, makes
Anywho,
sense. Makes sense. I got Keenan Allen at 35, even though I wanted to rank him higher. I just couldn't do it. I think he's going to be
I got him
1,000
at
yards receiver.
33. I got him at 33.
Listen, I don't know if Watson, Zay, McLaurin are going to be 1,000-yard receivers, but I think everybody from 31 up are going to be 1,000-yard receivers. I think
Okay.
Keenan Allen's going to have 8 touchdowns and 1,000 yards.
Here's a sneaky starter, and this is a guy that I'm going to be targeting in most of my leagues.
Yeah.
Calvin motherfucking Ridley. Calvin
Bro, same, bro.
motherfucking Ridley. You want to know why?
Go off.
You
Go off.
want
Tell
to
him
know
why.
why? Because Jacksonville fucked him over. They didn't use him effectively. Number one, he was like a top guy in Atlanta, right? And you
In
got
routes,
like,
dude, and last year in
dude,
routes run, he was
yeah,
top 10 in routes run.
dude.
They just didn't throw him the ball.
I'm targeting Calvin Ridley in every one of my fucking leagues because coming out of camp, you know what they're saying? They're like, oh my God, Calvin Ridley looks amazing. Number one, DeAndre Hopkins is injured. Guess what? Guess who gets bumped up? And Levis is a slinger. He's got the arm. I'm telling you, Tennessee is not going to be that run first, throw second kind of team, especially with their coordinator. Their coordinator is all about the pass game. I feel like Calvin Ridley is going to be like, he's like my guy. He's like the guy that I'm going to like stack. I'm going to sneak him in and everyone's going to be low on him because they saw him in Jacksonville. But I would say like, that's the guy you want to target. Obviously, when you get like, when you get, what is it? I think it's round 8 or 9 for me where I'm just like, I don't fuck it. All right, I'll take a flyer on this guy. I'll take a flyer on this guy. Calvin Ridley is like gonna shoot up to the top. Like I'm gonna have him circled in star, and I feel like he's gonna end the season top 12.
Okay.
Honestly, I think he's gonna shoot up the chart. Well, top 15. Top 15.
Yeah.
We'll go that.
Huge. Okay.
I'm really high on him this year.
15, maybe. Okay. I want to round this out. Deontay Johnson is a guy who you have a little ranked a little higher than me. I think I'm with you though. I think he's gonna be great. Rome, I think he could be a 700.
I mean,
yard
Deontay
guy.
Johnson, who's he going with? Like fucking old man. What's his
He's playing
Adam
with Carolina. Playing with Carolina.
Adam Hand? Adam Hand's an
he's-
old man. Okay.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I think he's
agree.
gonna eat. I think he's gonna.
I think Xavier Worthy, if maybe he's a year away from being a top 30 guy, top 25, but I'm high on him. Jack Smith and Jigba, Zikar, a lot of people are high on. Ohio State wide receivers, people are high on. And then at the end, Jordan Addison, because he's going to be out for a little bit. I have him ranked really late just because of the suspension. But I think he could be a top 28, 26 guy once his suspension's over.
Even with the quarterback play.
Yeah, I really do.
You think Sam Darnold is going to make
I think
that?
Because they're going to double.
He's going to make a statement.
Listen, bro, they're going to double team the shit out of Justin Jefferson, and he has to throw it to Addison.
Yeah, but they did that last year, and what happened? Justin Jefferson got injured and still ended the season with over 1,000 yards.
Oh, I hear you.
I'm just saying.
Other guys. Josh Palmer. I think somebody has to benefit from a good quarterback in Justin Herbert, and I think it's going to be Palmer. Jameson Williams is a freak, and he's the second guy behind Amon-Ra St. Brown in Detroit. Jacoby Myers is the number 1 in New England. I think he could definitely blow this 52 ranking and be in the top 40, no doubt. And then Watson focused on getting his hammy balance. He did change up some of his workouts, some of the ways he runs. He changed his running techniques, and he changed how he works out during the season. I did see that about Watson. I think Watson. I'm really high on Watson. Really high. And then lastly, some guys that some people I'm not a big fan of, but I know people out there that I respect. that are high on. Jerry Judy's one of those guys. Everybody
No.
high on him.
No.
No, I mean I get it though. He's
Trash.
he's playing
Trash.
with Deshaun Watson. I don't know. He's got to have somebody. Who's the number
You
one
know,
receiver for
you know
Deshaun?
why? You know why she's trash to me? Because he like
Uh-huh.
fucking started a beef with Steve Smith. Steve
He
Smith.
did.
Like Jerry
Well,
Judy,
Steve
like
Smith talks a lot. Steve Smith
show
talks a lot.
me, don't tell me. The guy hasn't done shit in the league. Name like where he was like balling out and he was like the guy. I think that's a stupid pick. I mean, maybe if you're like desperate and you need to get him on waivers because one of your guys gets injured, he may.
How good do you think
be a good
Deshaun
flex.
could be? Can I ask you that? How good do you think Deshaun could be? You think he could be a 4,000-yard passer?
Who, Watson?
Deshaun Watson, yeah. I think he could
I
throw
don't know.
4,000 yards.
We haven't really seen Deshaun. That's a good question because
He
we
was great.
really haven't seen Deshaun Watson.
Well,
last year, he was the
Let me give you a
amount of
stat.
money. The amount of money that he's getting paid, like he sucked. Like he sucked last year. I want to be honest. I picked him up in my keeper league, hoping he was going to do something, and then I got rid of his ass because he didn't do anything. He just got injured, and he's kind of like, I don't know. You want me to put the number on it?
Let me give you a stat.
He was great in Houston.
Hold on. Over 65% of 4,000-yard QBs have 2,000-yard receivers. So if he throws for 4,000, Amari Cooper and Jerry Judy.
I think I would be higher on Amari Cooper.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just a coward. Maybe I'm just like going safe. Maybe I would go with the safe bet with Amari Cooper because Jerry Judy hasn't done like he was supposed to be the guy in Denver, right? And he had like multiple different quarterbacks where he was got to like him and Cortland Sutton. Remember Cortland Sutton? Yeah.
No, I remember.
Just not a fan. But
I have it pretty low.
Anyways.
I have Portland. I don't even know if I have him ranked on my list, to be honest.
Yeah. Why? I wonder why. Fucking, he burned me.
Yeah, he's burned me. I remember when I stuck my neck out for him. I stuck my neck out for him.
Yeah. And I told you then. I was like, don't talk about. He's a bitch. So listen to me. He's a bitch, dude.
Hey, really quickly. What were you drinking tonight?
My wife actually, it's our 8-year anniversary, right? So I think if everybody's been watching this show, what have I been drinking all the time is always Anti-Hero. I love Anti-Hero. That's my go-to.
Yeah.
To say like I love Anti-Hero. I can drink these all day.
You're a PBR Daisy Cutter guy for sure.
Maybe. I don't know, dude. I feel like I'm being a little bitch when I drink IPAs all the time. I kind of want to venture out. I've been really getting into Ambers. Been trying to drink some Ambers.
My father-in-law loves Ambers, bro.
Yeah, dude. They're kind of nice, you know? And I don't mind like, all right, like let's tone the alcohol a little bit. Let's be normal where I'm not fucking up everything. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I hear
but
you.
Anti-Hero for Life Chicago. Let's go. Revolution Brewery.
If you don't change up your what you're doing right now, you're gonna end up in wine really soon.
I used to be a wino. Bro. I used to know my fucking wine, dude. I knew Pinot Noirs, I knew Grigios. I knew how to pair that shit.
Here, we got a bunch of wines in the basement. We have a fucking shit ton of wines in this house. So
actually, like wine is fun, but there's a lot, dude, and it's I mean, IPAs, like, I don't want to be that douchebag because I've seen that on, like, TikTok. Where they're like, oh, drinking my IPA is 11%. It tastes like shit, but I love it, you know.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
So I don't want to be
let me give you what I've had tonight. I started the night with Waddle at the beginning of the show.
Oh, that's a good one.
Waddle is a fantastic Oktoberfest that Off Color Brewing makes.
Off Color, yeah. Off Color I like a lot. Yep.
One of my favorite Oktoberfests that anybody makes.
Oh, honestly. You're one of those dudes. You like the Oktoberfest beers.
Oh, well, it's October, bro. I'm a fucking basic bitch, bro. I don't drink October coffees. I don't drink
It's August.
Yeah, but it's coming.
September. No.
It's September. No. We're a month away. We're a month away.
Week, bro. Do you drink the pumpkin spice beer?
No. But I'm basic because I drink pumpkin flavored beers or like Marzen style beers. I'm also German. By the way, you don't know this, but I'm
German too. I'm fucking Lingemann. Dustin Lingemann. I'm
No,
German as
I don't
well.
have that. I
They
have
didn't
a
have pumpkin spice
way
anything.
worse story. I have a way
Bullshit.
worse story. So I don't even want to share it, but way worse
Why
story. But
not?
I'm also German.
Might as well. We're an hour and 20
It's kind of
minutes in.
rapey. It's
No
kind of
one's
rapey.
watching at this point.
So people are watching. So that's all I'll say. But we have German blood 2 generations ago. We have a medal.
Dankeschön.
We have yeah, Dankeschön. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, we also drink this Pipeworks
Oh, okay.
beer.
Okay, I like
Yeah,
Pipeworks.
it's a
Yeah.
really good Maybach. Yeah, really good.
Oh, all right.
Fantastic. And
You know
then
what I really
finally,
like? What was it? Like Punk versus something. Punk versus
versus
Skater Boy.
Unicorn or something. Oh, Skater
Yeah.
Boy. Punk versus Skater Boy. Oh
I don't know.
shit.
It's like punk
Buddy
rock.
Tim probably
Anyways,
knows.
go ahead.
Yeah, but anyway, good beers. I really suggest Marzen beers. They're not too bitter, too hoppy. Yeah, and I think you would like them too. Honestly, I give you some beers.
Oh, I
think
know
you
I would. I know I would. I hopped on like the hazy IPA. I was on the
We do have some
hazy for a
comments in
minute,
here. If
and
you wanted to
then
share some of these
like
comments in
now
here,
it's all
there's
almost
some good ones.
absolutely. You know what I want to do? I want to do a show at Altar, or I want to do a show at Moore, or I want to do a show at like Noon Whistle, like one of the local breweries around. I'm gonna try to make that work. We got to work on that just so we can actually
No,
like.
I could do EBC. I could do Elmhurst Brewing tomorrow morning if you wanted to.
Wait, what?
There's some good comments here from some of the people that were watching us. If you want to go single screen and read them, that'd be great.
This one? I think I could joke you. Could.
Hey,
I believe, honestly, I believe with that. I totally wholeheartedly believe with you, Tim, because Joku actually won a lot of people last year. He won a lot of people their Super Bowls right towards the end. And that's another thing. I'm glad you brought that up because like, here's the thing, phony homies, like towards the end, like you can always kind of reset, especially in tight ends. Although this year I feel like tight ends, you have a little bit more to pick from. But no, Joku, I would definitely grab. And I totally agree. Once again, I feel like he's gonna hit before Judy. I think Judy's kind of a washed dude. Like I don't really like him. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what he was talking about. That was like the last comment. So anywho, it's JC ditches me, and it's just me. I want to thank everybody for like joining us tonight. All of you, I wish you luck because we are on that draft eve, right? Most people are drafting over this holiday weekend. I know I have 3 drafts coming up, 1 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. One of them is a 14 people league, which nobody cares. You ever notice that? Like nobody really cares like what kind of like who you're drafting with or who's your league or anything like that.
It's true. No one gives a fuck.
But I do want to make sure that good luck. A couple of things, and I'll leave you with this, and we'll wrap it up because we're getting to the end, and we're kind of nose diving. I will leave you with this. Be sure to check rankings every week. Look at Fantasy Pros. That's my go-to. I love Fantasy Pros.
2 rankings. Can I give you advice? Not you, but like people. Not just
when it's your turn. It's my turn.
Sorry.
Now.
Well,
And
not
really.
just like regular rankings, but like also look at the league.
So, anyways, like I was saying, like you want to take a look at like different leagues. I don't know why he decided to cut me off, but so yeah, absolutely. Look at like your tools, right? Fantasy Pros is really good, Sleeper is really good. Understanding your league and understanding also like how you're coming into the league. Like what are you trying to do? What's your end all be all for your team, right? I really think this year it's really important to pair stacking. I think stacking is huge. I know in the past it hasn't been one of those things, but I think stacking is really important this year. So, meaning get your quarterback and get that wide receiver or tight end. Like, for example, Kyler Murray, Trey McBride, I think is a great stack. And then also understand like going in, draft the best person available, but don't shy away from like what your original plan was. So if you're going to go hero RB, go hero RB. If you want to stack with wide receivers, go with that round. I think it really depends. Understand if you get this knowledge. Like at some of my leagues, I have no idea where I'm drafting. But once you get that information, have a plan, go for it, and have cojones, dude. It's okay. Like you're gonna get that like bad grade from Yahoo saying that like you were stupid and you reached. Who cares? If you see that guy, you want that guy on your team. That's what it takes. Okay, sorry, just didn't want you to like interrupt me.
Yeah. I would tell you to look at your league's rankings. Like if you use ESPN, use ESPN's rankings and compare them to like Fantasy Pros or Yahoo, or find an expert that you like, maybe on CBS, wherever you like your experts, and then compare the rankings and find where the discrepancies are. Sometimes you'll draft on Yahoo or you'll draft on ESPN, and they have a player ranked at 20, 30, 40, and you see somewhere else they're ranked at 15, 20, 30. And you can come up sometimes on your league mates. You can draft a guy earlier or later, depending on where the drafts are, where that discrepancy is, where it deviates. Find out where that is and try to capitalize on that. If you know a guy, to you, make your own. Honestly, the best thing you can do is make your own rankings. Make your own rankings. And then look at where your league rankings are, and then use your own rankings against that. Because you're the people in your league are going to, honestly, people don't do their research, bro. People have so much going on in life. People will draft a guy where their league says they should go. And if you make your own rankings based on what your research, you can find a bunch of value in drafts that way, and draft based on value. And honestly, you'll feel very comfortable coming out of your draft. Fantasy football is a crapshoot. We're giving you all this information, and anything could happen. But the real thing here is try to get value wherever you can. Honestly.
And have a plan. Have a plan going into the draft, right? You know, it's kind of funny. I was talking to one of our. I work at Illinois Media School. I was talking fantasy football, and one of the grads told me, he's like, my number one pick. I picked Justin Fields number one. I was like, wait, what? You went QB first? He's like, yeah, absolutely. I do it every year. So understand your draft, dude. Like understand the people that you're going against. I've had a couple drafts where like I was like, these guys don't know their shit and they're just homers. And it's kind of fun. But like I don't know. Well, I know for you, JC, you're playing with people who like understand, and everyone's gonna be fighting and trying to get that edge, that little edge. But yeah, I totally agree. Like understand the ADP and understand like you don't have to grab Patrick Mahomes. There's a lot of really great quarterbacks. You don't have to go. I'm kind of like don't want to go after Josh Allen this year. But anywho, know your league, know your standings, understand between PPR and standard. And hopefully check in with us every fucking Wednesday, because you know why? We're going to be telling you who to pick up on waiver wires. Waiver wires are really key. And I think it's very important as well, too, to check us out on our podcast as well, too. Let's go ahead and put a bow on this. I'm kind of just kind of flabbergasted here. Anyways, today's episode, thank you so much, funny homies. Remember to shoot out your questions when it comes to drafts, sit starts, or waiver wires at where, JC? On Twitter.
Tweet FFG.
Absolutely. Don't forget to use that hashtag.
Ask us FFG.
Yes. Blow us up. Or send your questions directly to our email at
askusffg@gmail.com.
And don't forget, you can send a text or leave a voicemail at JC's phone number. Once again, open 24 hours again.
708-655-4508.
All right. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, phony homies. My name is DL. JC is right over here. I'm running the ones and twos. I'm making the sound happen. And next week we will have our opener as usual.
Maybe we'll do a mock draft. Maybe we'll do a mock draft show.
Maybe we'll do one. I don't know. We gotta see.
It'll be before the season. The season won't start yet. We could pull it off.
We could, and we'll talk about that. Anywho, good luck, phony homies. I hope you like crush your draft, and let us know how you did. Let us know if our advice helped you or if it didn't. Mainly if it did. But anyways, I'd like to thank you guys. Have a good luck on your draft, and we'll see you next time, next Wednesday at 9:00 p.m. Central Standard.